Okay, we're on example 1 for comparing the distributions in back-to-back stem and leaf diagrams. So the following back-to-back stem and leaf diagram shows the percentage scores of boys and girls in a class for a German test. So what we've got here is we've got two stem and leaf diagrams, one for boys and one for girls, and we kind of stuck them to each other with the stem in the middle. So what we need to understand is that 3 stem 9 means 39%. So this 3 in here means 30 something. So that's going to read 38%. So on the left hand side it's reading kind of backwards. The bigger numbers are always on the outside of the leaf. So on this side it reads, on the right hand side it reads a bit more normally, so that'd be 40%, 41%, 43%. The bigger numbers are always on the outside of the leaf. And out here 72%, 72%, 77%. The bigger numbers are always on the outside of the leaf. It's just sort of tempting to read it kind of the way you would normally read things, on a page. So it's tempting to read it as 27, but no, it's actually 72. Okay, so that out the way, what we'd like to do, because we're going to be finding the median, the range, and comparing distributions. So let's just have a think about how many boys and girls there are on each side of the diagram to understand whether we're having the middle number for a median or the middle two numbers for a median. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So we've got 11 boys up there, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 14. So 14 girls. Okay, so we're going to end up with middle two numbers on the right hand side and the middle number on the left. So we're going to do the sort of crossing out biggest number and smallest number thing now to find the middle number. So it'll be 92, biggest number, smallest number, 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 biggest number. So that is going to be the median, isn't it? So the median is equal to 72. Okay, so on this side then, biggest number, smallest number, 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 biggest number, smallest number. There's my middle two numbers. So the median's in there. So the median is going to be 54 add 59 divided by 2. And that is going to give us 56.5. Okay. So now we just need to write them down. So the boys' median was 72. And the girls' median is 56.5. So now we're going to work out the range for the boys and the girls. So the range is just the biggest number take away the smallest number. So the range is 92 take away 38. So that's going to be equal to 54. And on the other side, the range is going to be 87 take away 40, which is going to equal 47. So now we just need to write that down. So the boys is 54 and the girls 47. So now we need to do comparing. So what I always say for comparing is, first thing we'll do is we'll write down a box of numbers. Okay. So this is going to be boys and girls we're going to be comparing the average, which in this case is the median, and the spread in the data, which in this case is the range. And so 72, 54, 56.5 and 47. So you might get a mark for that. We need two statements now, one to compare the averages, the medians, and another little statement to compare the spread in the data, the range. So on average, so the median here is the average. On average, the boys score more. Okay. And then the second thing then is to compare the spread in the data. So the range shows okay, so the word we need here is consistent. So consistent means how samey the data is. So the smaller the spread in the data, the more samey it is and more consistent it is. So in this case, the girls are more consistent with their scores because they've got a lower spread in the data, a lower range. Okay, and we are done. Okay, so this is example 2 for comparing distributions from back-to-back stem and leaf diagrams, and in this one we're going to be using IQR, the interquartile range. Okay, so let me just write that down. IQR interquartile range. So it's a spread in the data, so it's a bit like the range, but a little bit more robust. So we've got a back-to-back stem and leaf diagram. So now rather than a German test, it's a maths test. So it's percentage scores in the maths test, and we just need to work out the median for the boys and the girls. So first thing we do is we're going to count up the number of students there are, so we understand whether we've got middle number or middle two numbers for the median. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So we've got 10, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 19. Okay. So for median then we'll have, so remember this is going to be 74, 72, 72, so we're reading outwards. So the biggest number is going to be 74, so cross out the biggest number, cross out the smallest number. So biggest, smallest, biggest, smallest, biggest, smallest, those must be middle two numbers. So the median is going to be 65 and 69 over 2. And if we want to use our this is going to be a calculator type problem, right? And it's 67, isn't it? Okay, let's do the same for the girls then. So biggest number, smallest number, biggest number, smallest number, biggest number, smallest number, biggest, smallest, biggest, smallest, biggest, smallest, biggest, smallest, biggest, smallest, biggest, smallest. So that must be the median. Median is 60. Okay, so we just need to write that down. So the boys 67, and for the girls 60. Right, now we need to work out the IQR, the interquartile range, the boys and the girls. Now I could do this on the diagram itself. Yeah, I've got to say it's going to be a lot simpler just to do this the long way around, which is to write all the numbers down. So if we do the boys then, okay. So I've got 38, 56, 56, 64, 65, 69, 69, 72, 72, 74. Okay, so there's all my numbers, right? And I knew that the middle two numbers, okay, let's count our way inwards then. Okay, the middle two numbers, that's where the median lives, right? So the median is in there, in the gap. So what we're going to do to find the interquartile range is find the lower quartile, which is the lower 25%, and the upper quartile, which is the upper 25%, or the 75% mark, if you want to think about it that way. And the interquartile range is the difference between the two. Or to put it in other ways, if the median is the halfway mark, right, that's the 50%. So if I split that 50% in half, I'll get 25% and 25%, right? Which is kind of what I want. So what we're going to need to do is, this is going to be a bit tricky because we've got some kind of wonky number of numbers, if you like. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So median's in the middle of these two numbers, right? So I need to split these 5 numbers in half. So that one's going to be the lower quartile. And the same way again, this one here is going to be the upper quartile, right? So the IQR is going to be 72 take away 56, which is equal to 72 take away 56 is 16, right? If we do the same for the girls, okay, let's do the girls. I need to do some seriously small writing here. Right, so 39, 40, 41, 43, 51, 54, 54, 54, 59, 60, 62, 63, 71, 71, 73, 78, 78, 89, 97. Okay, almost off the page. So if we think about splitting these up, right, so we've got 19 people, so let's just count inwards. So it's like I'm crossing these off, right? Just don't want to cross them off because then we're going to not be able to read the numbers. So there's our median, right? So then this one's going to be a bit easier actually. So because we've not got any wonky double numbers in the middle. So this is just literally a meta-nav saying, right, I've boxed up my median, that's okay, that's my 50% mark. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I've got 9 out here, I need to split those in half. 1, 2, 3, 4, it's going to be there, isn't it? The fifth one, that'll be the lower quartile. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, so we've got 4 this side and 4 that side. That's going to be my upper quartile. So the IQR is going to be 73, take away 51, which is going to equal 22 in this case, right? Sorry, falling off the page. So I need to write that down. So the boys, they had an IQR of 16, and the girls had an IQR of 22. Okay. Right, so now we need to do some comparing of all that information. So remember what I said before. When we do comparing, we have a box of numbers. Okay. So we're going to have boys and girls, and we're going to have a median for the average, and we're going to have the IQR for the spread of the data. So rather than the range, we're having the IQR now. So we've got an average and a spread of data. So we just need to put the numbers in. So that's 67 and 16 and 60 and 22. And now we need two statements, one to compare the average. So on average, who scores more? The boys score more. Again. Now we know in reality that's not the way it's going to work, but hey, this is just an example question. Now we compare the spread of the data, the IQR. So the IQR shows, so a bit like the last question, now we're looking for, the magic word is consistency. Now consistency means sort of sameness of the numbers. Okay, so the more samey the numbers are, as in the numbers up here, right, the more similar the numbers are, the smaller the spread in the data, and hence the more consistent the data is, or the spread in the data. So the boys have the smaller spread, so the boys are more consistent. Okay, and we are done.